All right. So I'm live, and this is like I don't know, the second day in 3 days. So we're getting this Dog Pound Radio action fired back up. The Chuck Banks Experience. We're going to be recording some of those broadcasts here in the near future. Actually, going to record them live, and then we'll post them after that time frame. Okay, so all Dog Pound Radio affiliates, all shows, we are sponsored by Turn 2 Workshop, Stan Schmidt. Be sure to follow him on Facebook and check out all that he has to offer. He's truly, he's a very gifted craftsman, and he's got a ton of stuff out there that you're going to want to check out. So we have that. We're also sponsored by all of my books, and I have several. June 6th, I'm going to be down at the Fort Madison Downtown Festival. You're going to want to check us out. We're gonna do some live broadcasting. Sir Isaac Newton and myself, and I'm going to have all at least four different books available at this particular event. Dog Mentality, the story of mediocrity to becoming elite, and we'll talk a little bit about that this afternoon. And also The Life of an Overthinker. And also I've got a couple paranormal books that I'm going to be bringing to the table. Not going to bring a lot of copies, so if you want a copy of that, you're going to want to get there fast. The Downtown Summer Market on June 6th here in Fort Madison, Iowa. But again, really excited to be a part of this huge event that's coming up. Hopefully Turn 2 Workshop has got some stuff there as well. If you like what you hear, be sure to share this, and you're going to win an option or a chance at winning a PDF copy of basically not only the last two new books, but also the newest one that's coming out. And it's If I Were the Devil. It's the analyzation of Paul Harvey's speech from 1968. And it's an evaluation of it and kind of what's going on in today's day and age. So If I Were the Devil, Charles Banks's interpretation, you could say. And I'm excited to get that out. Looks like we're going to be able to get that out in the next month or so. So be on the lookout for that. Unsure whether or not this is just going to be a computer or a technology type of book where I'm not going to do the printing, but there'll be some printing options available, but I don't think that I'm going to print those off and sell them in that manner. So you'll have a chance to win a PDF copy of that. And also the 425 Coach Banks model is going to be available probably as early as July. So I as an old football coach that's coached defense for a long time, I decided, you know what, I'm going to give the Coach Banks modality, the defense, kind of how I look at things, with the different fronts and things like that, and I'm going to throw that out there for a chance to hopefully it'll help people out there that are just getting into coaching or who are interested in the defensive facet of things. You'll be able to check that out. But today, just kind of looking through, I know, some people know that I've written a couple books, but not a lot of people know just how many books that I've written. I started out in the paranormal genre, and maybe that's why my self-help books are not digging out, because people looking at the taboo that is the relationship of the paranormal or spiritual realm, whatever. But I have written a couple of those. I've also written a couple of political books, and people ought to take note, man. It's called Around the Dinner Table: Religion and Politics, the Butthurt Saga. I've got volume 1 and volume 2. It's available on Amazon, and those books just kind of they gerrymander into the realization of what's going on in the political process today, and how everyone everyone in the leadership value in Washington, D.C., how they want to split us apart. And sometimes that can hammer us a little bit and create discontent. Death, the Saga. I've written several books, again, on that process of the paranormal thing. If you want to check it out, the Midwest Paranormal Road Trip. I'm going to have 10 copies available at the June 6th event. If you want to take a look at that. Peering into the Void, I'm going to have 10 copies of Peering into the Void as well. But I've got many copies of I gotta look. Sorry, Dog Mentality: Story of Mediocrity Becoming Elite, and really, I'm going to be doing some live events this summer when it comes to that, trying to promote, a more well-rounded individual. And if you like that sort of thing, you can check that out as well. But here's a couple of things to keep in mind for this Saturday. Work-life balance. Is there such a thing? I come with the modality is that if you find something that you're passionate about, you'll never work a day in your life. And I know that many individuals throughout history have utilized that particular statement, but it's true. If you can find something that you're truly passionate about, you're going to be able to go that extra mile. And you're not going to be mediocre. You're not going to be just good enough. You're going to soar to that elitism that comes to that. So again, when you're passionate about something, you'll never work a day in your life. And, I look at education, I look at coaching. There are times that we have to make the switch, move into different job occupations, different work sites and stuff like that. But that can reinvigorate your passion on life, especially within education. Now, I've got a lot of friends that say, man, how on earth can you teach high school special education and coach? And I said, frankly, if I wasn't passionate about it, I wouldn't do it. So that's just something to look at. This is a quote that I found floating around the internet, and I put it in my book. And I don't know who the author is, so I can't give anybody credit when it comes to this particular thing. But this one's important, and I want you to take note of this one. Manipulation is when they blame you for the reaction or for your reaction to their disrespect. They can do whatever they want and they can say whatever they want, but the moment that you react, they blow up. I have absolutely no time for people like this in my life, and I'm out. When I talk about manipulators, and there are a lot of people that in life that are going to come in and out of your life, and they're going to use up every bit of what they needed out of you, and then they move on. That's okay. Because when you look at every failure that you're contemplating in your life, so every failure is a win because you're learning from it. You're getting education by it. So understand that just because you lose at something doesn't mean that you're not winning, because at the end of the day, for every loss is a value of educational tool that you can utilize into the future. And you have to work through that. So birds of a feather flock together. Stay away from them damn manipulators, folks, because they are everywhere. And don't take things so personal when they come in and they use up all the energy and everything they wanted to use from you and then move on. That's okay, because at the end of the day, that's just the way it is. All right. There are numerous ways to live your life. Mediocrity should never be one of them. Find your purpose, your passion, and your why. I've said time and time again on my podcasts or in conversations, whether it's, kind of a face-to-face conversation with my friends or colleagues or, students. And, in these conversations, too often we listen to respond and not listen to understand. That's a Covey work foundation that I've learned over the years that's super important. So we have to give that wait time and be able to generate a positive when it comes to that. Stop merely existing and going through motions. Find a way to excel at your life to the point of living instead of existing. Living and existing. I've talked about this in the past as well. Too often throughout my 51 years on this planet, I existed. I didn't live. Too many people, whether it's in America or around the world, when they get to that stage when they have to go get a job, they stop living and they just merely exist. And again, when we look at that particular modus operandi, we have to change our mentality. That's where you have to find your passion. Quit worrying about what's, what little Tommy across the street is thinking, and focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Quotes from my dad, Gerald Banks, excuse me, passed away in 2010. This guy, I would love to have 30 seconds with him. I know I'll see him again, but man, he gave me some quotes to live by. One of them, and I kind of raised my family on this mentality. Rub some dirt on it, folks. You're going to be okay. Get off your ass and make a life for yourself. That was one of the last truly engaging conversations that I had with him before he passed away. Because I said, "Man, how's your soul?" And he got a little bit angry and told me he's gonna die, and that I need to get off my and live my life. 2, the energy you put into the world will come back to you tenfold. He said that over and over. Man, I can remember several times when I'd be angry from a coach's perspective, because maybe I wasn't playing enough, or I got a crappy grade, so I would gripe and moan about it. And he says, "Man, you control your own energy. Period." That's a good one. Sometimes that's the way it goes. There was a guy at Joe's Quick Shop years and years ago, and I remember my friends. We every Friday night after a football game or after any event, they would come over and we'd play a weekend of Dungeons and Dragons, and sometimes getting in a little bit of trouble, but that's neither here nor there. But this guy, that's the way it goes, and he say that's the way, and it's truly kind of a life lesson. That's the way it goes. And I think Mark Williams and I used to say, that's the way it goes. We were kind of dorks back then. Still a dork, but that's the way it goes. I'll just leave it at that. What do you think life will be handed to you? I utilize the quote, "This isn't Burger King, have it your way." Life sometimes is just not fair. And if we're existing, we're worried about things that truly do not matter. So if we understand that every little component, every little failure in life is a lesson learned, we can not just exist, but thrive. And that's that one's good. One of his favorite words of all time was no. I remember I've got a picture of my mom and dad on my wall here, and I just I chuckled, no pun intended, because my name's Chuck, but I chuckle a little bit, because Dad would say no, and then I'd go to Mom, can we do this? And then she'd say yes, and then Dad get pissed. And anyway, no, that's one of his quotes. I'm not going to be around forever. You need to get over yourself. And I think that was him, explicitly telling me that I have to stop making everything about myself. And, it took over a decade after he passed away for me to kind of figure that out. Quit taking things so doggone personal. That's an issue that I have. And I don't know whether it's my empathic being or what, but sometimes I take things personal and I burn bridges, which is stupid, but that's me. I'm trying to be a better person. So I'm learning. That would be one of my losses, right? The next quote was, "Life isn't fair." It's not, man. But you know what? Life is what you make it. It's truly what you make it. You made your bed, therefore you have to lay in it. Yep. I always did things the hard way. And, as a father, I've always tried to explain to my children. And, as a teacher, I explain to my students that you probably shouldn't do things the hard way. But isn't it amazing when someone tells you, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. But at the end of the day, it's your journey. And, but if you make that bed, you're going to have to live in it. Every time before he would smack me on the butt, he would say, "This hurts me more than it hurts you." And I see that as a dad or a dog dad now, right? I've got little Loki and Leo, the beagles. and they're kind of the face of Dog Pound Radio right now. So it's pretty exciting. Got to get a picture of Roxy though. Got to get a picture of Roxy here, maybe with my beagles. But this hurts me more than it hurts you. And as you get older, you understand that, and it does hurt us more than it hurts you when we have to discipline our children or discipline our athletes or whatever. One of the most and the two most important quotes that my dad said in my life is, number one, I am proud of you. And I try to do this. I try to say this to my children and grandchildren and my students as much as I can, because that's really the staple of it, right? And the last one, I love you. Again, I'm Gen X, but I still tell my kids and my wife, that I love them. And I mean it. That's the thing with me. I'm an emotional dude. Sometimes I say truths that hurt other people's feelings, and that's something I'm working on, right? But again, as a coach, I always ask, hey, do you want me to candy coat it, or do you want me to tell you the truth? But unfortunately, sometimes the truth hurts. Coaching culture and athletics, man, our mission statement, and it's not changed since Coaching Culture CCA started about 5.5 years ago, to end the mad culture present in today's athletics. We see it all the time, man. There are people bitching and moaning about, whether it's coaches, utilizing playing time or fostering those decisions, those chess matches that go on during a game, or the officials. And at the end of the day, man, everybody can go out there and get a coaching authorization in the state of Iowa, as long as you don't have a felony and stuff like that, right? And you can also go out and officiate, because there's a huge shortage of officials in Iowa and across the Midwest. So check that out. Our vision statement: realizing the full potential of proactive coaching and athletic culture in the United States. That's kind of the vision statement of coaching culture and athletics, and that's our coaching side of things. And Monday night, right now, it looks like the boys baseball program have a lot more votes than the girls softball program. So softball players, if you want us to be there on Monday night, you're going to have to go out there and vote. Okay. One of the greatest things, when we look at positive culture out there, is from Solomon, and this is from 2018. No one organization alone can build healthy kids and communities through sports. Okay, this is from Tom Ferry, the executive director of the Aspen Institute Sports and Society program. It will take like-minded groups, even competitors, collaborating to get kids off the couch without running them into the ground. Now, here's something that's extraordinary, and this is actually peer-reviewed and all that, researched and things like that, right? Coaches that run their kids in the ground, and they work them with no purpose within their particular sport, can increase injury and increase maybe a kid saying, instead of sticking around, saying I quit. There has to be a purpose behind all the conditioning that goes on within sports. And again, I'm kind of subject to this, but Coach Doherty's athletic enhancement program, or the Bloodhound Performance Way, utilizes a scope to get an athlete more well-rounded, stronger, faster, and ready to play. But then if a kid is going out there and they're overdoing it, let's just throw this out there. Does baseball players need to play 100 games a year? Do softball players need to practice 11 months out of the year? Do basketball players need to practice 12 months out of the year? Now, I get it. I've coached all those sports, so I get it. And again, if we're going to value the true experience of sports, then we have to collaborate. We have to be like-minded. We have to be able to have these open conversations to fix things, instead of having an athlete that feels like, okay, so again, let me backtrack and talk about this. So let's say we got 4 sport athletes, which we need. Okay. I think that, a student athlete that's coming into high school, okay, they're not everybody's going to be a professional athlete. You're going to get all this literature in the mail. As a coach, I see it all the time. It's coming to every player, and they're saying, "Hey, come here, come play, pay $1,000, do this." When in reality, we have to shift our mindset because we want more well-rounded adults, right? If you look at a lot of the Iowa athletes that have become professional athletes, okay, it's a pretty small percentage. I'm just going to throw that out there, but they were like 3 and 4 sport athletes. They were in training all summer, and they bought in with that. But again, if we got a 4 sport athlete and they feel like they're being pulled, okay, and we look at our brains aren't fully developed until we're 25 to 28 years old. So anytime that that a teacher or a coach puts these thoughts in your head, it can shift and analyze your modus of thinking. And instead of pulling a kid here and pulling a kid here, and to the point of breaking, and then maybe eventually they quit or they do those sorts of things, or they're not a part of the the processes. We have to stop that. We have to stop that. And again, I was lucky to grow up in Gen X, where we actually got a couple weeks in between each season. And again, I'm a coach, and and I've got buddies of mine that would say, "Now, come on." But it's just interesting. But anyway, mediocrity, folks. Mediocrity is a concept that encompasses the quality of state of being mediocre, which refers to the average or ordinary nature of something or someone. It implies a lack of outstanding qualities, excellence, or distinction. In various contexts, mediocrity can be observed in different aspects of life, including academics, work, art, sports, and personal attributes. It often contrasts with excellence, and individuals or entities that exhibit mediocre traits are generally considered to be unremarkable, unimpressive. Okay, so I opened up the can of worms there, okay, and I lost you. Sorry. So I opened up a can of worms there, and I made those statements because I want people to quit limiting themselves, quit limiting their abilities, quit just existing and live, man. We have to do that as a society. Okay, if we're just existing, we're not making a difference in not only the lives of our personal lives, but we're not making a difference with our kids. We're not making a difference with our colleagues. We're not making a difference with any job that we're utilizing. Think about that. Think about this positive thing where you're if you're constantly giving without expecting something in return. Think about how the positives, how much life would be better for all of us if we did such a thing. Anyway, today's broadcast, Dog Pound Radio, Saturday, May 18th, 2024, is brought to you by Turn 2 Workshop. That's Turn 2 Workshop, Stan Schmidt. Be sure to follow him on Facebook and all that sort of stuff. Follow us on all of our facets. Okay, Monday night, we're going to be live either at a baseball game, probably, or at a softball game, potentially. This week is our live broadcast. On Friday, we'll be out at Baxter's for a doubleheader. I'm not for sure who our girls are playing, but we're going to get a couple of live events this week. Also, Thursday night, the Roxy Awards. Excited about that. Our main man, Sir Isaac Newton, has been nominated for one of those awards. We're going to go out there and check it out, and hopefully things are good. Last thing, Caitlin Clark, man, keep kicking butt. Keep doing things the right way, the Iowa way. I'll just throw that out there. Don't listen to the negative hate and the doubters. We got your back, girl. That's Dog Pound Radio. Short. We're out.